Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Friday, November the 12th. And rightio, so we've got stocks going in all different directions actually. Anyway, let's make a start. Amazon here, as you may know, we're looking for from wave 4 low here as wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 pulling back into that 50-60% retracement level area, and then moving up from that point. You just got to be a little bit mindful too, as I mentioned yesterday, that the reality is that we have 3 waves to the upside, so it could be corrective. That's probably not in line with the actual trend that we're looking at the moment, but it just needs to be said, that's all. You just need to know what risks we're up against, really. So anyway, that's one of them, and that's why I've got the B wave there. So we'll just be a little bit careful about that, but our trade setup should see us okay with all of this. Where are we? Tick chart. So we've got minor wave 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this minute wave 1. Just putting the B wave there as a little bit of an option. We've got an impulse wave down here for wave A. We're looking for wave B to pull back, and it looks like we're in wave C now. If I've made a mistake with this particular count, because we've got long trades in here, we've taken part profit here, we need to be long above this top here, but we can bring that down to the next level. So we can bring it down to this one here. Let me just check. It's probably going to create a bit of a rock and a hard place here. So it looks, it's above the 50%, so that's okay at that point. Yeah, so otherwise, well, there's 2 things that can happen here. It's either going to go down, isn't it, and we buy down here, and the length of this can be roughly the length of this to the 61.8%, or the market's going to go up, and if it goes up, then we need to be long above that high. You could probably move it down to the second high or the third high, but the further you move it down, the higher the risk that you're in at that point. But I'll leave that to you. The other point too is that with the trading levels, we're working with a minor level 500 here, or 5 rather. So a move back up here on top of group 1, which would be subgroup 1, which would be 30 in here. So if you can get a tested support on 30 with a little classic trading levels pattern, if you can see that on a 5 or 10 tick chart, then you can build in from that point. In fact, you could build in all through group 1 here, 10, 20 and 30, then adding on 50, you could get 4 positions in there. And the reason for scaling in is because as the market moves along, you have more confidence in it, so you can manage that initial risk in there, of course. But that's where we are at this point. So yeah, pretty clear that there's 5 waves in this move here for that. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, scoot along. So Google, Alphabet, daily chart. There's 2 things I'm looking at here. Wave 1 being this top, and wave 1 being a little bit further up. In a way, it doesn't really matter because we're working with a major level 3 here, major trading level 3, and the market's not going to go very far, so we can expect some swings across this. It's not like, it's not like we've got support. We've really just arrived there, So in a way, we've just got, this is the pattern that we're looking for, if that's the 3,000 there. In terms of trading, we normally trade to here, get out, and then we wait all the way over here to get back in again, or we can start building from down this point. But as a trader, as an analyst, we get involved in all of this, but as a trader, we don't. We just get out here and we get back in over here. So that means that if this is the arrival here, we'll see the reaction here, then the first high above the level, and so on. But we're not over here in support. We'll be looking for a pattern a little bit like this. So moving in over this side. But we're far from that at the moment. But that's okay, we're working it. We'll go to the tick chart, the 100 tick, and we'll have a look at both counts. So in the first instance, this is the count for having wave 1 sitting here and looking back for wave 2. So in this case, will we move down further for this? That's what we're sort of looking at the moment. Like I said, as a trader, if you get involved in, like our long-term plan is basically to have a few positions here and then build in on the other side over here. So really, when you look at it, we're just sort of getting, 2008, 2800, 2900, a few trades in here, 31 we certainly start building on, and so on to the upside. So whatever happens in this space here doesn't really sort of matter. We're looking at sort of trend trading in this way. So let's just see if it comes down to this point. If it does, it creates a buying opportunity. But otherwise, this count to the upside here, I've got it a little bit different. I've got wave 1 sitting over here in the next chart and wave 2 sitting here. And this blue wave 4 ends up being over here. So we'll just have a bit of a look at that, which is on the 10 tick chart. So we're just working 2 charts, but in a nutshell, they're in the same same direction really. So wave 1 here and 2 here, then 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. And then I was looking for wave 4 to pull back to this wave 4 or 38.2. So it's a bit shy. So far here, I've just counting down. So we've got, in fact, I could probably put that, not that it matters, but still leave the A wave. I can put it here or here. I have to check on that a bit further, but still leaves the B wave here, whichever way I go. But it leaves a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Bit of overlap there. So that could be an A and a B and a C at this point. Now, obviously this could come down further, or we could do a range of things here, but it doesn't really matter for the time being anyway. 50-60% is up here. Oops, a daisy. Put that in there. I mean, from this point here, it could just drop from this point. It may be that it pulls back down here 50-60% and then pulls back down in this way here. Maybe it just continues up and we go into the 5th wave at that point. It doesn't matter because we've already got an order at 2900 and 2800. So we don't need to do anything. If we can get a better position further down at the bottom of wave 2, well then that would make sense, wouldn't it? So we don't need to be involved in all this noise. If this is a wave 4, wave 4s can get complicated. It could just double in size and all sorts of things. So I'm just tracking it. There's nothing really to do here in this situation at the moment. So I'll just go back to the 100 ticks. So yeah, let's just see if it pulls down here further. We're not interested in if you've either taken profit up there or you've taken a percentage and we're going to move back in. So we don't need to we don't need to manage the stop that much in here, so we can just allow it to be, and we'll certainly be building in over this side when this wave 3 is the one that we want. Yeah, so there we go. Let's move along. So Apple, once again here we've only really got 3 waves to the upside. So it could be corrective as a B wave and wave 4 comes in over here. Once again, I don't think that's the case, but I do need to point it out, but being on the trend side and being sort of positive, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Looking at this as the A wave, the B wave and the C wave moving down into this space. So that's where that is. So it's good that it's popped down below the level again, because if it gets back up and finds support on the level, the 150, which is a medium level, well then we can go long from that point. Let's go to the tick chart. A bit more data maybe. Okay, so we've got 1 and 2 here, and then 1 here, and then an A and a B and a C wave over here for this. I've got it also here as a little A wave, a B wave and a C wave up here. It's possible. Yeah, I don't think it's the case though, based on how long this took to go up here. If that was a wave 2 going up here, if that was an ABC, and this would be down for 1 then, and this would be back for 2, and if that was the case, then it wouldn't be so time consuming here. So in fact, I'm going to remove that now. So, as a C wave moving down here, we'd be looking for 5 waves. So we're looking down as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and ABC for 2 in here, and then the third wave down here, and then the fourth, and then the fifth for the third, and the fourth here. I'm not sure if it's this one or this one, but I think that all of this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to that point. If it is that one, then we'll see one turn down from that point, which would be this one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that point. So that would give me 5 waves to that point. What I don't quite understand is if this one is involved as well. I don't know if we've got an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, or this one. If this one's going to play out, well, then there's going to be another one to come down. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if we go up from that point. Yeah. Or we coming up from this, one more low in this area. But I think the trick here really is that we're in group 2, 65.72, which can come down a little bit further. It's moved a bit, 47.20 roughly, and the 8 here, 148. So. Let's start from this way. We've got 148 here. Let's say I've made a mistake and we just go straight up from here, right? That's the first possibility, isn't it? So if that's the case, then from 48 here we go to 30. So 148.30, because that's the top of group 1 of the 148. So if you get that as a classic trading levels pattern, then you can go long on that top there. If the market drops down through here somewhere, either 1 drop or 2 drops, then you would use the 148 here as finding the first high in the market at that point, and then going long at that point. Now, the safe trade, if you're putting on big bucks for the longer trend, then it's on the 150 here that would need to get the support. So all these are higher risk, and this one is the safe trade over at that point. I always like to get it, if I was going to go into that trend, then I always like to get a few in here, just a couple of small positions, even at least one, and then build on top of that, and then build in through these guys here, through group 1 of the 150, 1, 2, and 3 there. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm just looking at the bearish side now in my tiny little mind. So if I was looking at the bearish side, I would look down here. Let's just say it drops down to 47.20 at that point, right? Then it would leave, you can see the situation here, it leaves that there as the resistance at that point. So if the market was going to fail and move up here and then go down, so all of this here, so these 5 waves here that we've got for the C wave is wave 1, then wave 2 would come back and test the 150 and then drop at that point. So you need to know both sides of the coin, and that's the other side of the market at that point. So if that was the case, then that's possible to move down into a third wave at that point. So these orders that we put in here, that's what's at risk at that point. So just we'll try to tighten those up as well, and we'll have a look at this move up here to make sure that it's got good legs for an impulse wave. But that's where we are at the moment. And square. So with square here, we're just counting 5 waves down through here. We go can look at it. Also, we can look at it differently as well, but that's where we are. It's travelling quite nicely as that. Obviously, there's fantastic support at 200. So, and all these levels here, 10, 20, and 30 here, they're all going to offer support, but the trend is still lower at this stage. So from the top up here, we've counted down as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and ABC for 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. So we're going into blue wave 3. So yeah, just moseying on down here, keeping the trend quite sort of tight. I could count this in a couple of different ways. We can count this as 5 waves to this point, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, or maybe even 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 and 2 and 3, and a bit of an overlap on 4 there. Anyway, I'd have to pull that apart, but I'll do that in due course. I don't see any change in trend at the moment. I just see retests of levels of what's retested the top of group 1, so it's kind of locking itself in there a little bit. This is the next important number. Normally when I find the number, this is major level 2, and then 1, 2, and 3 minor group 1. When the number 2 here becomes the resistance, it's at that point that you can be pretty much assured that the market will be pulled down to the closest largest number, in this case this one here. So that's in a bear market, the 2 there, once that's locked in there, it's good to know that, because it just helps you with the, wherever you're heading to and whatever you're doing. You could be long and it gets locked under here with a bearish pattern at that point, like it's done here. So well, you can just see that it's retested here. It's come down for the bounce, dropped through the first low below the level, then the retest here, and so on. So you can go short under this one or this one here if you wanted to. Just go to the next level and bounce, because it can be very bouncy coming into group 1. So you've got to be a little bit careful and leave stops wider if you're going to try to go the distance. Okay, Facebook. So we've been looking at Facebook with wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C here for that. But there is a good possibility that we can come down further here, as I've been discussing. And yeah, we're starting to get a bit of an impulse wave down through here. So when we go to the tick chart, I'm counting this structure, okay? So we're kind of looking for 5 waves down here in this regard. It's starting to confirm. So let's just bring in a bit more. Okay. So I'm moving, we had this as the A, the B and the C to this point, but I'm bringing the A wave to here, and we're looking at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 5 wave move up here for the A wave, the B wave and the C wave. A bit of equality between wave A and wave C. A is a bit longer, but the main point here is really over this side here. So from the low here to the high here, the 50-60% is here, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But I have been counting down here as an impulse wave. We could have it corrective. It's possible to have it corrective right to that point there, but I don't really see 5 waves up here just yet. I see 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, so that's looking quite good as a bullish move, and you could technically go long above there as a trader. Otherwise we'll just continue to the downside here. We've got a pretty nice structure here of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in here as well. Things are moving around a bit. They could probably go there better. I'll have to check on that. But 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave for the third, the fourth wave here. I suppose you'd have to be a little bit careful here. I suppose we could get a little move up here and then down as well for that wave 4, pulling back to that wave 4 there. I'll just check where the 38.2% retracement is. I won't take it from the spike. I'll take it from there. Yeah, well, it's pretty much, straight across there, so So we're kind of already at it there in a nutshell, so we don't have to worry about that again then. So it's either going to move down from this point or it's going to start the move to the upside. I'll leave that for you. If that gets breached, if that top there gets breached, that second high here, then you can just put the stop under that. You can just put the stop under here and then try to move that up there. You can move the stop up when this is 330 here, right? So then you got 1, 2, and 3 here. So all the threes. Once those threes become the support, once those three there become the support, you could also look to add to the position with a little classic trading levels pattern. But the thing is that once that gets triggered here, right, once that gets triggered there, then this stop here, then that can be moved up under that level. That can be moved up to that point at that point, because that's group 1. So 330, the 30 here is minor group 1, and that's the top of subgroup 1. So once that becomes the support, we know we're heading up to 5 at that point, and we're not coming back to this number. So that's why that's the way that you move it up at that point. So it's just a process. It does look like 3 waves here though. But it doesn't look very impulsive here as well. I mean, that's a pretty big wave 2 there. It's more like a B wave, so could certainly go to the upside. So as a trader, I would take that. I'll leave all that there, I think. If it does drop and we get another wave down here, just to let you know, that will be 5 waves down at that point, and we'll have to call that wave 1 at that point, and then wave 2 coming into play. So let's see if we get that, okay? Then we can sort of worry about it. But yeah, that's where we are for Facebook and Tesla. So we're going to be bobbing around the 1,000 for a little while, and I find that yeah, so the market's not going to go very far, and the move down here has hit the 1. Profit taking and buying and all those sorts of things creates the first bounce, and there will be other tests of that 1,000, and I think that it'll be some sort of A wave here, B wave here, and C wave here for wave 4. It's quite big for this particular wave 4, so we may need to move the orange wave 3 over to here for that, but we don't need to go there just yet. It won't make a big difference. Let's go in and see what we've got so far with this on the tip chart. So I'll just bring in a bit more data. So from the top here, if I count that as 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, so a series of 1s and 2s, and then the 3s come into play, 3, 4, 5 for 3, and 4 and 5. I'm only left with wave 3 here. I mean, it looks like you can get a nice 5-wave structure in there, and they possibly could. So if wave 3 was here, then an A and a B and a C, that horizontal line there is the 38.2% retracement level. So it's fitted quite nicely in there for a wave 4. But we would need to see it continue down into wave 5 at that point. If all of this move down here was just the A wave in blue here, then we've got an ABC for the B wave here. It hasn't reached the 50% or the 61.8% at this stage. So it could. So all of this here could just become the A wave here, the B wave somewhere over here a little bit more, and then the C wave to the upside over here. You with me? So, because it hasn't reached its thing yet. So there's a variety of things that could happen here. You know, this here is just first. I mean, it's possible because I can count this, you know, this 1, 2, 3 here could also be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, but the relationship between wave A here and wave C, you know, it's pretty much, it's way out of whack, isn't it? But it's possible. So it's possible for this just to move straight on up here as well, with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and building to the upside at that point. So I'm a little unsure at this point. I can't see a safe trade here for us at the moment. I'll just put this back to this point at the moment, but yeah, I mean, it hasn't quite reached that area there yet, so it's possible that that's just the wave 4, but we'll just have to see. We'll just give it a bit more time. There's a few things that can happen here. I mean, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to that point, and then the A, B, and C for the B wave, and then the C wave, and then we go down. Do you know? It's all that sort of stuff that can happen as well here. There's a lot that can happen here, so I just don't see I can't see a safe setup here for this at the moment. And Microsoft. So we're looking for wave 4. The 38.2% retracement level is lower, but there's a reasonable case for wave 4 to be in on that high to this point here. But just to remind you, we haven't pulled back to this here, but none of these trends, this market doesn't seem to, I don't know Microsoft very well, it's only something we've just brought on, but I can see that all the retracements are really quite shallow. The trend is quite tight, isn't it? So there's you know, if we can explain this and find a good setup here, then it's possible for this to move up higher at this point. So let's just check that on the chart here. So where are we? Yeah, so a couple of things here. We're looking at this as wave 3 here, with an A and a B and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave of wave 4 here. So it's possible that that we can be completed at this point, but we'd need a good case to go long. The first thing is from the highs here to the low here, this little area here, which brings us in at 335, the midpoint, and we can see that it's very important. Obviously, if that became the support, you can go long from that point, but we're quite away from that at the moment with this. I was looking at this morning, and we could probably get 5 waves up out of this, really. It looks, I mean, it's a bit messy in here, but if we looked at this as 1 and 2 in here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and something odd in here, I mean, maybe you'll need to just have a quick look at this on the 10-tick chart and see what it looks like. So 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2, it's probably the third wave, fourth wave. So those 5 will be connected, and that will be connected to that. So that can go there, that can go there, that can go there. So we may have the 5 waves to the upside. Let me just put this out a bit further. Still looks more like a 4th wave there. I was looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. That's sort of okay-ish, I think. It's a long way back here for this. I don't know if we're going to come back that far. Just looks like a fourth wave, this little guy in here. Well, that's in 5 waves. So B and a C wave here. Is that up for 1 and back for 2 there? Is that it? I mean, the takeaway here, though, sorry for just rambling on, just trying to get my head around it a bit, is that it does appear in one, even if I've got the count wrong here, and this is a wave 4 here, then pushing up, whichever way I look at it, it's an impulse wave and not a corrective wave. So technically we could go long above that there, which would be quite nice, because the thing here is that this is 330 and this is that all those 3s there are group 1, and that's really important. This is all of group 1 here, and this here is minor group 1. So minor group 1, and then this subgroup 1 here. And then of course the next level up here is 5. So the thing is getting support on this level here. It's kind of cutting through it, isn't it? It's not quite there yet, but taking that height, we'd see, because normally we would be just would go long above that one, then that one, and then that one, because we're on top of group 1 here. Because if we get support on here, if we get support on this number, then the market is leaving this number and heading to this number. So this is the line in the sand. This is the severance where it gets severed here. So if there's a move up there, you could go long on that. Just want to have a look at just one couple of seconds here. Just want to have another look. Don't really have the daily sort of momentum with us on this one just yet, but they're always lagging. That's just the 4 hour. So that's there. The short term could be okay. Yeah, it looks a bit weighty, doesn't it? Oh, so we're quite close with the count there, weren't we? We're looking at that there. Well, as a wave 1, it can pull back further, can pull back into that space. If it fails to get support here and then finds the 332 as the resistance here, then it's likely to come further down at that point. Yeah, we'll just have to be a bit careful here, but yeah, if that's triggered to the top side there, I don't see why we can't go long. I'll just leave it at that, but just be mindful that we haven't reached our target area here for this. That's the main point. We're a long way off it, you know. That's what sort of haunts me a little bit. So that door is still opened. Okay, so do not overtrade. Okay, I do want to have a look at the banks. I've just been looking at BAC, so I did buy some of this just a while ago. Sorry, BAC over here, put that there, just get that sorted. I'm just going to trade up to 50 and get out. And yeah, while this is pushing up here towards here, hopefully gold will correct a little bit, and then I'll take that money out and put it into I've got Newcrest Mining, but I'll probably put it into ABX or something in another country, US. Okay, so for this market, we've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, wave 1 and 2, and going up for wave 3, so we can bring that over to here somewhere. Should get the first high above the level up near that trend line there somewhere, I'd imagine. And then wave 4, I don't want to be involved in wave 4. I don't mind trading that up to the level and getting out. I won't get involved in that. Yeah, just a short little thing there. Not seeing strong volume on that so far. Still pretty low on volume for that move up there. So it's a little bit empty, so hopefully it can attract a bit of attention. Also, wave 4 may get a bit bigger as well, you know? It could get bigger. But yeah, no, it seems okay at this stage. Getting support on the 48 will obviously be the catalyst to send it higher once that occurs, and you can expect profit taking to occur at the 48 as well in the short term. So just be mindful of that. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.